welcome back to the channel with me, Barbie! It's not really, it's actually me, but I have got Barbie here because tomorrow is the release of the Barbie movie and I have literally been counting down the days to this movie because I cannot wait, and I also have been wanting to make a Barbie cake to celebrate since I heard about the Barbie movie coming out. So that is what we're gonna do. These cakes were like super popular when I was a kid and I always wanted one, but I never got one and all my friends got them. I feel like my aunt even made one for my cousin and I was so jealous. So I'm gonna make my childhood dreams come true today by making a Barbie cake. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to take off her clothes and wrap her in cling film because she is gonna sit inside a cake and we're gonna make this amazing skirt for her. We're gonna make it cool and disco vibes with loads and loads of glitter. I'm gonna grab some cling film and I'm gonna wrap up her legs up to kind of her stomach just so that she doesn't get super dirty. And I'm also gonna wrap her hair in a little bit of cling film too because it's long and luscious and I don't want it getting in the buttercream. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is find a circle cutter that Barbie's legs can fit inside of because she's gonna sit inside layers and layers of cake. So we wanna cut a hole into each layer so she sits inside. It doesn't quite go, but I want her to sit snugly in it so there'll be a little bit of wiggle. I had all of these cakes left over, but we'll pop a recipe in the description box below with some ideas of tin sizes that you can use as well. And I'm gonna start by leveling them all off just with my cake leveler, just trimming each layer down to be as tall as they can be. Then we're ready to build, but I'm gonna actually trim down these sponges a little bit just to try and get a bit of a skirt shape going on. And you can make this like, you know, like ball gowny and really quite kind of big and poofy. I'm thinking that my Barbie wants to be kind of sleek. I'm gonna make it quite thin, so I'm gonna cut off quite a lot of this cake, but I've got some ring cutters here and you can get these from CupcakeJemma.com. They're really useful for like cookie cutters or trimming down cakes. I'm gonna cut to this size, and this is gonna be the biggest part of the skirt at the bottom. And then I'm gonna cut the rest of the sponges going down a cookie cutter size. And then of course we need to cut a hole in the middle of each one. So trying to get it as in the middle as I can. Okie doke, so I've popped some buttercream into this piping bag and I'm using Swiss meringue just because that's what I had lying around, but you can use regular American buttercream, and in the description box I'll give you an idea of the kind of quantity you'll need for this cake. I've got myself a cake board here which I think you'll agree is very Barbie appropriate, as are my nails. Done especially for this video. I'm gonna squeeze just a little bit of the buttercream onto the cake board, and this is just to stick down my first layer. So I'm gonna pop that on top and just give it a little wiggle to secure it. And then I'm gonna grab back my buttercream and start piping it all over the top. And if you want to kind of smooth it out a little bit with a palette knife, then go ahead and do so, just to make sure it's going up evenly. And actually now what I'm going to do is just take the palette knife and just run it around the inside of the kind of hole. And then we're just going to keep on building until we have used up all of our sponges. All right, so looking about the right height, I'm just going to sort of swipe off a little bit of this excess buttercream, just running my palette knife around the sides here, just to scoop it up and make it easier for us to carve. All right, you didn't see me go into the fridge, but I did go in and I've come back out. So I just put this in there for about 30 minutes just to firm up a little bit because we're about to carve it and it will make it much easier. But before we get carving, we're going to put Barbie inside her cake. Give her a little wiggle. I've just got her arms upwards just so they're out of the way and we don't accidentally chop one of her hands off, because that would not be very cool. And now I've got a bread knife here, serrated knife. Carving is just to take off a small amount at a time. You don't want to take like a massive chunk out because then you can't really go back. I'm just packing this hole with cake because her body obviously goes in a little bit and there's quite a big hole here. All right, so she is all carved and looking sleek. It is time to give her a crumb coat. So I've popped more icing back into this piping bag and I'm gonna start just piping buttercream all the way up her beautiful big skirt. I've got my little cranked palette knife and I'm just gonna start swiping that buttercream up and down just to fill in all of those holes and make sure that every little bit of crumb has been covered. So the buttercream is now on and I've tried to just kind of like even it out, but obviously we need to smooth it out, which I'm going to do with my smoother. But I'm going to use these soft flexible smoothers because obviously her skirt isn't completely straight. These are great, so they've got a little bit of flex in them and you'll see what I mean when we come to smooth the top of her skirt. But to start with, I'm just going to, you know, smooth as you would a normal cake with a really light pressure, just spinning as I go, and you can see how it's already smoothing it out. And then when we get to this top bit where it is curved, you can take your smoother and sort of follow that curve like this. You see what I mean? And so when it's on the cake, we can hold it against here and smooth. Ta-da! And that way we don't have to fight a rigid plastic smoother. All right, so she's looking lovely and smooth, and now she just needs to chill out for a bit. So I'm gonna pop her into the fridge just for about 30 minutes until the skirt is kind of firm enough to touch, and then we're ready to decorate her. Goodbye. So whilst Barbie is having some downtime in the fridge, who knows what she's doing in there? We're just gonna colour the buttercream for her skirt because I want to do this in like a ombre from pink to purple. So I'm gonna get all the colours ready now. So I've just divided the buttercream up and now I'm gonna use the colour mill to do this. So I don't know if you guys heard, but there is now a special Cupcake Jemma range of colour mill. Here's one I made earlier. The best colour mix that you could ever need. Looking cute, and I believe you can get this from cupcakejemma.com. So head over there and grab some of that because this food colouring is amazing. It's really, really concentrated. I'm just gonna pop a little drop of colour into the buttercream and mix that through and see what the colour's like. Right, so I've got my purple and my pink, which are top and bottom of the skirt. So now I just need to make purpley pinks in the middle. So I'm gonna add a little bit of pink to this one and then just a small drop of purple, and we're gonna mix those and hopefully we've got a pinky purpley colour. So that's all 4 colours done. So now I'm just gonna load them up into piping bags and wait for Barbie to chill. Okie dokie, so all the icing is loaded up and I'm gonna start from the bottom and I'm gonna ombre from purple to pink, and I'm just gonna start by piping some of this buttercream on in rings like we did for our crumb coat. And then I'm gonna do the same thing again using my little palette knife just to start spreading the buttercream out, but kind of making sure I don't spread up and down like I did before, because obviously I don't want the colors to merge totally. But as you can see, as I'm doing this, these 2 bottom colors are starting to merge together really beautifully. Oh, you just look so cool. Again, buttercream's all spread out and kind of evened it off a little bit with the palette knife. So now we're gonna go back on with our nice smooth scrapers and just start spinning and not pressing like too much pressure because I don't want to take too much more icing off. I just want to smooth it out. So now that Barbie's skirt is smooth and looking beautiful, it's time to decorate. So I've put some of my icing into a piping bag with a nozzle, which is a petal nozzle. It's quite a big one, so that we can do a few frills on her skirt. So starting at the top with the sort of chunky end inwards and the thin end pointing towards me. I'm always going to start at the back, and I'm just going to touch the top of her skirt with the thicker end, and I'm just going to wiggle this around so that it makes cutesy patootsy little ruffles. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing around the bottom, just adding a couple of layers of frills to the base of her skirt. And now it is time to add some finishing little touches. So I've got a few sprinkles here that I picked out in similar colors, so I'm gonna add some of those on. And also I made these little stars. So I just made these really simply using some sugar paste that I colored pink, purple and white. And I just rolled this out on a non-stick mat with a non-stick rolling pin, and just till it's about 2 or 3 millimeters thick. And then I've got this amazing glittery luster stuff here. This one's by Harris Sprinkles, who we absolutely adore, and I just brush that over the top of the sugar paste so it sticks onto it. If you need to flip it over, you can do, because the bottom is often stickier. And then I've got a little plunger cutter here, and you just chomp these out and pop them onto a plate. Just leave them to set. It doesn't take very long, and we've got these gorgeous little glittery stars which we can now start decorating Barbie's skirt with. So let's do that. I think she is sufficiently glittery and spangly, and she is ready to go. We've named her Wedding Singer Barbie. And that's what she's about to go and do, and I think she looks fabulous. So make sure you get yourself down to watch Barbie tomorrow. I will be front of the queue, literally cannot wait. I want to try and stay in the Barbie Airbnb. If you haven't seen that, then you need to Google it because it looks amazing. Other exciting news is, well, by the way, I'm not going to cut this and eat this because I think it's really mean, and I love her and we're best friends, and I would never do that to her, okay? So that's why I'm not going to eat it. But the other thing to tell you guys is that we are holding a meet and greet in C&D Soho this Sunday. If you haven't heard the news, then hurrah, I'm glad that you're hearing it now. We'll be in Soho from 12, which is when the shop opens, until 4 p.m. We'll be there to sign your books, take photos, eat cakes, eat cookies. There are a few new cookies on the menu, which even I haven't had all of them yet. I know, crazy, right? So make sure you come down and join us then. If you haven't come along to one of my baking classes, then I'd love to see you there. It has been so much fun meeting you guys. Loads more kind of decorating techniques like this, lots of piping techniques going on in those classes. So please check out the website bakingclasses.co.uk. And that is probably all I have to say for now. I think Gemma will be back next week with a delicious peach muffin recipe, a lovely, simple, summery treat for you guys. And maybe, I was thinking this recently, me and Dane could be back together soon with a cookie recipe, because like it's been ages, right? And there are these new cookie recipes, so hopefully the gang will say yes, and me and him will be back to share that with you soon. In the meantime, we got a wedding and a party to get to, okay? Okay. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Okay, bye. Okay, bye-bye. My cheeks really hurt now. Okay, bye. Well done. You did real good.